They did a study on Olympic athletes that had medaled in the Olympics. Who do you think was most happy, gold, silver, or bronze? This one's not a trick question. It's gold. Who do you think was second most happy? Why do you think bronze was second most happy? Because bronze was standing up here on this podium, and they wanted to be standing, on the higher podium, but they were looking down at everybody else that didn't medal, and they were like, "Whew, I'm glad I'm not down there." Whereas the person that got silver is looking up, their perspective is looking up, and they're going, "Oh, I was so close to gold." But we think that our circumstances determine how we feel. People tell me that all the time. Well, if I just changed my circumstances, then I would feel better. No, you wouldn't. Maybe temporarily, but then you'd go right back. Whenever things go poorly, according to the world in my life, I always go back to, well, at least I have access to clean drinking water. When people ask me how I'm doing, I always tell them that I'm excellent. I'll tell you a pretty crazy story here in a little bit about what happened to me last New Year's. And our head coach called, and I said, "How are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I'm sure I'm doing better than you are." And I was like, "No, I'm still excellent." And people are like, "Oh, so you just lie to people and you tell them you're excellent even when you're not." Like, no, I take a realistic look at my life. I have access to clean drinking water. I have access to freedoms. I have access to information and technology. I have the ability to create tools. I have access to medical care, food, shelter. I went and slept on Skid Row one night. Skid Row has the largest homeless population in the country. It's downtown Los Angeles. I went and slept on the concrete. And I wasn't trying to serve people that day. I wanted to know what it felt like to sleep on concrete. And it hurt. I woke up the next day and my body hurt in a way that it had never hurt before. But I can tell you what, that changed my perspective. When you go to a place like Africa, Ken's daughter went to Africa, I guarantee you that Molly would tell me that changed her perspective on life. So I want you to take a look at something. Let's pull up the slide of Noma. That's pretty grotesque, right? That's why I tell people that I'm excellent. Because that comes from not having access to clean drinking water. That's it. That's a disease that comes from dirty water. I don't care how hard you've worked. I don't care how hard your parents worked or your grandparents worked or their grandparents. None of us did anything to deserve access to clean drinking water. Nothing. We were just born in the United States. That's it. We were born in the United States. They weren't. So, no, I don't lie to people and tell them that I'm excellent. I'm excellent. I have access to clean drinking water. I have access to medical care. I have access to food and shelter. Even when I slept on Skid Row, my quality of life was still 10 times greater than probably around 1 billion people around the world. Your circumstances don't determine how you feel. Your perspective does. Let's show them the next picture. This is my little brother. He's one of the most amazing people in the world. He can't walk, talk, or feed himself. He's 14 years old. He and I wear the same size shirt. He's 5'9". He's a big kid. He can't walk, talk, or feed himself. His favorite thing to do his favorite thing is sports, but he can't play sports. But he's the happiest kid I know. By far. And not just kid, he's the happiest person I know. He loves people more than I've ever seen somebody love people. He unconditionally loves people. And that's his look most of the time. I was playing golf with a guy last week, and he said, I told him about my brother, and he's like, I'm just so thankful that everyone in my family is healthy, and I always pray and thank God for that. And I kind of felt bad for the guy, because I was like, I know so many more people that are way more miserable than him. Way more miserable than him. And the impact that he has on people's lives is crazy. I think I have quite a large impact on people through the different platforms I'm able to reach them. He might have a bigger impact than I do. Because every single person that he comes into contact with loves him. Because he unconditionally loves them. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So, our circumstances don't determine how we feel. Our perspective does.